you're tuning in just now or you're new here, welcome to it. My name is Toza Maluabega Kumalo. Don't be a semantungwini, and I'm not alone. I'm with
Miss B.
Miss B. And we do this every Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So normally there's four of us. We have Mini Cooper, Imoto, and Nana, and then we have Ucebo, but they're not in today, okay? It's just me and Miss B keeping you company all the way to the 12th hour. So right now, I want us to talk about something that does not get nearly enough attention, which is depression in men. Right? I feel like we should have had like a male figure in here to talk about, to hear what they say about it. Okay, so we'll see how we move about that. So now, globally, millions of men are dealing with depression, but many of them are doing it in silence. Okay, so studies show that while men are less likely to report feeling depressed, they are far more likely to suffer the most serious consequences of it. Okay, so the scary part is depression in men doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like anger, distance, shutting down, or just saying I'm fine when they are really not fine. Okay. So today we are asking, why are so many men struggling quietly, and what needs to change for them to feel safe enough to speak? But before we look into that, around 4.6% of men worldwide experience depression at any given time. And that's slightly lower than women. Okay, just slightly lower, okay, because about 6.9, but experts believe men often underreport their symptoms. I think we've all seen it. You've seen a man who is not okay. And when you ask, are you okay? They always say, yes, I'm okay, right? Because I don't know if they're afraid to express how they're feeling, or they're just like afraid to admit that mentally I'm not okay, because men were built, or rather taught to be strong, right? This thing of being a man was deeply orchestrated in their minds. You understand? If you're a man and you start voicing out your feelings. Remember on Friday we had a conversation about just Usipo and Zama, and I said that Usipo is a man who cries, right? He cries when he's not okay. He is in touch with his emotions. And Tabo's reaction was like, uyakhala. And he even said, men, there are men who disagree with that. But the truth is they need that. They need to cry. They go through a lot.
And I think crying just reduces the pain a
exactly bit. It releases the stress. You understand? So you do need to cry. Voice out, even if you don't cry in front of us. I don't know if you as men judge each other wherever you are there, but I personally know that I would never judge you. If you cry, that means you are that comfortable with me, you trust me, so therefore I'd make sure that I protect the trust, you understand, and make it stronger. So roughly 1 in 20 men globally are dealing with depression, but the real number could be higher because many don't speak up. Okay, now, so one large study found about 1 in 8 men, which is 12.5%, had depression. So 12.5% men have depression. So in some groups, it's closer to 1 in 8 men. That's not rare. That's everyday life, okay? So men do go through depression, okay? And I think we need to look at what depression is. But before that, we have the gender gap, right? Depression is reported almost twice as much in women as in men. I think that's because we speak up. We voice out. It becomes evident, Tina must be depressed. Young understand, because I think it's in our nature, man. Like we are able to express our feelings. Okay?
We're able to speak when we're not okay.
When we are not okay, we are able to speak and say, "Hey, angiko right." In fact, you understand. But men need to speak more. Man. You need to open up more, even if it's not with women, but like open up with each other. You know, I once told someone who said, if you don't feel like talking to the people around you, and you can feel that you're not okay, talk to a stranger, right?
And there's nothing relieving about talking about to a stranger.
Yes.
They don't know you. I don't know them.
Exactly.
Like,
it's not like one day was just, I'm so depressed. No, you talk to that stranger at taxi, maybe if you're using public transport, you meet up with this person, you start having conversations, and you open up, and then you'll feel better, right? That person does not know you, they will not judge you. Yes, whatever, but they don't know your name, they don't know your address. You understand? They are seeing you for the first time, and it could be the last time you see them. You understand? It's much better that way rather than bottling things up, because it's going to affect you. I mean, I think we've already mentioned that depression in men does not look like sadness, right?
Yeah.
It looks like rage. It looks like anger. You find men who are abusive towards their partners because of the depression, maybe. Yeah, I understand that. Which is why I always say, Mawuti, indoda ikhale, men doesn't cry, ukhalela ngaphakathi, they cry on the inside. It will show as time goes on because you start becoming abusive, you start becoming aggressive, you start just being disrespectful to your partner if you're married or to the people around you. That's how you cry, and it's not right. The best way to cry is to let those tears roll down your face and just release everything. So, depression is reported almost twice as much in women as in men, but this does not necessarily mean that men suffer less. It often means that men don't report symptoms and men don't seek diagnosis. Because we've heard a lot of people saying, depression is sifo sabelungu. You understand? It's only for white people. That's not true. Everyone gets depressed. It's a mental illness. If you have ingqondo, you have mentality, you will go through mental illness in one stage at one point in your life, okay? So millions of men are affected, but many don't talk about it and many don't get help, okay? So depression in men is not rare, it's just hidden, okay? I know I have men in my life who are not okay, right? And I've tried to have conversations with them, like, let's sit down, let's talk, right? Let's talk about it. What's bothering you? And most of the time, they do not want to speak. I have to beg them. And at some point, I remember having a conversation with one of my cousin brothers, and I ended up giving up. I was like, because you don't want to talk. Now I must beg you to express your feelings. And that's when they started expressing. And I was like, okay, I'm not saying force people to speak up, but like it worked, right?
Yeah, it did work.
They started voicing out, and I said, consider therapy.
Yeah.
Now, when you speak of therapy, they think you're sending them into a mental institution. I'm not saying go to Tara or Vescopis. I'm just saying talk to a professional.
Yeah.
Talk to someone who's going to advise you. Talk to someone who will understand your emotions and your feelings. If you feel like we are going to judge you, they will never judge you. Okay, maybe they do, but silently. And then that's when you see vele bayang chacha. Okay, have you ever noticed anyone who's depressed in your life, or have you ever been because we're talking about men, a man that has once had depression in your life?
I think my uncle once faced it.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was depression as much because like he got in an accident and then I think that thing damaged this man somehow because he would have those nightmares and still would not talk to us until I was like, nah, you work with numbers. This is gonna like affect you in your workplace and then you won't be able to work. And then he started like, he did not voice out to us, but then he went out to seek help. And then lately I'm seeing changes. So, okay, this guy can talk more right now. Like when he's not right, he will just come and sit down. Of course, he should take like 5 minutes and look at you. Hey, don't judge it. No, yes, and then talk. And I'll just listen. Like, so what are you planning to do about it? I won't just give him advice. I'm not experienced in giving advice, and he's older than me. But then I'll listen to him, and that's enough.
That's enough. Even if you don't say anything, just listen. Listen to them voice out. Like,
and sometimes I'll look at him and I'll see this person is lost. Like he's just talking, but then it's like everything about him like has disappeared. And she's just talking. I'm like, okay, Yazin.
It's fine. Let me just listen. Yeah. Also, just lending an ear.
Yeah.
Let them speak and you listen. Okay. So, just in case you're wondering what depression is, because you'd be shocked to know that there are people who don't know what depression is. But it's a thing that's not talked about a lot, especially when it comes to men. But this is what depression is. So depression, which is a major depressive disorder, is a common, serious mental health condition characterized by persistent sadness, loss of interest in activities, and low energy lasting, at least 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And then it disrupts your daily life, affecting sleep, appetite, and concentration, and is not a sign of weakness or something to snap out of, okay? It is something serious that needs to be paid attention to, right?
Yeah.
And if you're suspecting that you might have depression, but you don't know what the symptoms are, we will be giving you those symptoms right after the music break. So stay tuned. Also, if you know someone who is depressed, a man who is depressed, depressed or you are suspecting that they could be depressed, tell them to tune into Newtown Radio. This is Between the Lines, okay? On Facebook, it's Newtown Radio. Twitter or X and Instagram, it's Newtown Radio SA. And our WhatsApp line is 067 070 6882.
Broadcasting live from the heart of the city. This is Newtown Radio.